Hey everybody, welcome to the Patty G Show. I'm your host, Patty G. We are out here at the marvelous Building 5 restaurant. They actually have a wine tasting event going on downstairs, so maybe Bri and I will join that after this show. But they always do crazy events over here and stuff like that, so if you're interested, make sure to check them out. Let them know that the Patty G Show sent you. And before we get to Bri Boudreaux of Simple Living Baton Rouge, she is a mom, entrepreneur, a husband to Tyler, a wife to Tyler somehow, but we'll get into that. Yeah, she puts up with him, but we'll get into that a little bit later. Before we do, want to give a big, wonderful shout out and thank you to the amazing folks and partners that bring you the show each and every week. Falia Real Estate, Horizon Financial Group, Lakeman's Health Center, Mimosa Handcrafted Jewelry, Building 5 is our location sponsor today, Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge, and you know our outfit is always brought to you by McLavy Limited. Without further ado, Bri, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Happy to be here.
I'm excited to have you on and to learn all things concierge.
All things, yes.
So for those that may not be aware,
yes.
Who are you and what the heck do you do?
Yeah, so I am Bri Boudreaux. I'm the owner of Simple Living Concierge. We basically do a little bit of everything. We do everything from organizing all spaces of homes and offices to running errands, doing laundry, doing the to-do list, and then we do relocations as well. So we help people move in and out of homes. So we'll help pack and unpack, declutter, organize, just do, all the things that no one likes to do when you're moving. It's very stressful. So we do that, and then of course we've got kind of on the side, we do a lot of little parties on the weekends, and then we've got our Christmas decorating and our Christmas parties. So it's a little bit of everything.
So you're just like a residential
concierge, yeah,
like assistant to
yes.
people, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't. That's pretty much what it is just being an assistant to families.
Yeah.
So like a lot of our clients, so we've got our concierge clients. They sign a 6-month contract, and basically they use us 8 hours a month or more, and we will basically have a shared note with them. And they say, hey, this Friday, I need you to knock out all of this. And it's basically all the things that they hate to do. Like, you want to spend your time doing the things you love,
right.
Which is definitely this new, this is where that's the generation we're in right now. It's like trying to enjoy the time we do have and trying to find the convenience where it's at, And that's what we bring. It's just convenience. Because if you say, hey, my kid is sick, can you run to the store? We'll drop everything, run to the store, and bring it to them. So
wow.
So it's very much a VIP. They get first dibs on our time. So
how do you get into something like this?
Yeah, so I actually used a concierge business in Orange Beach when I was planning my wedding. And they do a lot of the things that I was doing here as a nanny. So they were getting the groceries filled in the people's condos. They were getting meals prepped, just little odd end things. And I was like, you know what? I do that in Baton Rouge for the families I nanny for. And I wanted to transition from nanny to owning my own company. I just wasn't sure what route I wanted to go. And so when I saw this, I was like, this is what I want to do. I want to basically move out of the nannying into concierge. And my families were so lovely. They just kind of let me transition from watching their kids to doing their laundry to running errands. And then their friends were using me. And so then it just kind of spiraled into a full-blown business.
I was about to say, you get one family, and
yeah.
they can absorb almost all your time.
No, for sure. Absolutely. Especially when I was doing it by myself, because I was nannying and doing this at the same time. So I'd drop kids off at school, would hustle and work until 2, go pick kids up from school, and then be with them until 7. And so it was just, I was working nonstop until I was like, okay, I have to give up one. And I sadly had to give up my family that I was nannying for. I love them to death. But so I kind of transitioned into this by myself, and then was able to kind of bring in a team so that I wasn't killing myself every day.
So what did the conversation go with the family when you were like, hey, love y'all, but I got to stop and do my own thing?
Yeah, and it was a sad moment because I was with them for a couple of years, and I really grew up with those kids. So that was probably the hardest goodbye, and I still am in contact with them. So it was not an easy one, but they were so understanding, obviously.
But yeah, I guess so were you still doing work for them after nannying, just not actually doing the nannying part?
So that family I was not.
Okay.
They had, because they needed full-time nanny, but the other, so I luckily had 2 families, so every other week they needed somebody, so it just worked out.
Right.
So the other family I was working for, their kids were in high school getting their license, so I was able to easily transition from driving them to school to staying at home. So that was really nice. Like I would sometimes drop one of the kids off at school and then go back to their house and do laundry, errands, organize spaces, whatever it is. So, and then their friends, it just kind of spiraled into their friends, utilizing my services. And I mean, I hustled hard. And so there were times on Instagram that I would be taking a picture, of grocery shopping. It was really for me, but I made it seem like I was grocery shopping for others. And honestly, that's what helped me build my content through Instagram, is because I was like, oh, I'm picking up dry cleaning. Oh, I'm folding towels. Like, might as well just utilize what I'm doing for myself so that people can see, oh, that's how I can utilize this service more. And then it just grew into something much bigger.
So utilizing social media to get your client base.
Yes.
Love that.
Yeah. Oh, Instagram's the best.
How did it feel like taking pictures of your own tasks you were doing, and like what was running through your head? Like, oh, this is somebody's going to want to do this. Or were you just like, hope maybe somebody will want this?
No, I was really just going, someone will, this is because that's what I wanted to do, was basically assisting families with those everyday needs, because that's what I was doing for the families I nannied for. So I was like, hey, what do I do for these families? What I do for myself that relieves stress, and I'm just going to post it on my stories. And so I put myself out there. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to post it, and then people will kind of like catch on. And I was on stories talking every day. I look back at some of those stories and the filters. And I was like, I didn't need glitter on my face, but...
Wait, did you keep all the stories?
I still have. If you go down far enough on my grid, you can still see them.
Oh wait, so you did story and then post to
so I'm pretty
timeline?
Sure I have. Yeah, so it's my I had it on my grid. Yeah. So I had them on my grid. I'm pretty sure I'd have to go back and look.
Oh man.
So, but some of them are still attached to my highlights because we've just never had time to clean them up. Sorry guys, but
too busy working and helping clients.
It's on the to-do list, but so it's funny to see some of those hustling moments for sure. So,
but that's what I love about social media, is the fact that it's like it captures that point in time. Absolutely. And then it's always there.
Always there. Yeah.
And then you can have people be like, hey, tap 10 times past that highlight to get to the new stuff.
Right, and it's going to humble you.
It'll also maybe, like, if you had some ideas that didn't pan out at the time.
Absolutely, yes.
Like, have you ever had those thoughts?
Yeah, I have, because there have been moments where I'm like, ooh, let's do wedding planning or something like that. And that's a whole job in itself. And so it's like, okay, maybe that's not the service we offer. Let's focus in and hone in on what we're really good at. And that's why when we kind of rebranded Simple Living, we kept the name, but we wanted to clean up the style a little bit. And in that moment was when we were like, let's just hone in on concierge relocation and organizing. And if people want parties and they want Christmas decorating, we can offer it because we're good at it. But it's not going to be our main focus on week in and week out. So, yeah.
So
the CYA 360 Business Leader Symposium returns to Baton Rouge in October. This all-day event focuses on the main threats to your business. Speakers will present on fiduciary duties, brand building, insurance strategies, cybersecurity, exit strategies, financial confidence, and executive wellness. Jay Johnson, coach of the National Champ LSU baseball team, will deliver the keynote address. Join us for the 2023 Business Leader Symposium, October 5th at the Renaissance. For tickets, go to CYA360.com. That's CYA360.com.
Yeah.
So your first level of services were what?
So we really focused on organizing, and honestly, I did all of them because the
but like out the gate, what were you selling?
Really, probably concierge, doing laundry, and then running errands. But then it turned into, well, since you're doing my laundry, can you organize my closet? So then I was organizing closets and measuring out spaces and buying supplies for the space and realizing, wow, this is really exciting and fun because it's very rewarding to go from a disaster to an organized space where you can see everything. And then the family I was actually working for, they moved a couple of times while I was working for them. So I was helping them pack and unpack, and it was just something I really enjoyed because moving is the most stressful experience for most people.
Absolutely.
And so having someone there to not just throw your stuff in a box, but really organize it into very specific boxes. Even if we're just doing the packing, the unpacking is so easy. So especially if we have clients who are moving out of state, it's really nice for them because we're not always following them to their house. So at least when they're unpacking, they're like, okay, this is just Tupperware. You know, it's not just kitchen crap just thrown into a box, you know? So it's really nice to kind of simplify it.
Which, like, no fault to moving companies,
No.
but they're there to get it as quickly as possible.
Absolutely,
They're like
yes.
cabinet 1 to the left of the sink,
Really?
miscellaneous kitchen.
Yeah.
And they're not spending the time that y'all are,
No.
which I'm
Yeah.
sure you've got like Excel sheets or paperwork where you're
Yeah.
like, what's exactly in this box?
Yeah. We don't go that far. We don't want to get too complicated. But we do write what's on the side of the box. We do write what's the majority of what's in that box. So that way when the movers stack them, they can see exactly what's inside the box. Like if they need to get to their wine or they need to get to their coffee or whatever it is, they'll know that that's where it is. So it's really nice.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you started out just whatever we're going to offer, we're going to offer.
Yeah, whatever. So if someone asked me, hey, can you do this for me? Yes was the answer. No was not an option with growing the business because I knew I wanted to do it full time. So it was just like someone's asked me, hey, do you want to do this? Yeah, sure. Let's figure it out. So, and it was like sometimes late night runs to Walmart for something random for their kids' project the next day. You know, it was like, I was ready to go.
So was there ever a cutoff of like at the beginning times, like, hey, I'm available from 6 to 6, 6 to 9, 6 to 10, like, or was it just
24/7, especially when I stopped nannying.
Yeah.
If someone called me, and I had people who called me at 2:00 in the morning because somebody was sick and they needed something. So I was on call 24/7, probably the first 2 years until I started hiring people and they were like, Bri, I'm not 24/7. You know, like they were like, I'm not doing 24/7, you know? So it was kind of at that point where I stopped offering it as much, but then I had my clients who used me since day one. So if they called me, I was helping them.
So you must be like a light sleeper or something, because I think if somebody called me at 2 or 3, it would take multiple times before I woke up.
And especially if someone's calling me at 2, that means it's work. Like no one else is calling me at 2:00 in the morning. And it happened pretty regularly, so I was always a little alert. Like I always was kind of ready for it.
I was like, somebody could call me.
I was also always kind of hoping for it. I love the adrenaline, and I was such a workhorse in the beginning. Like I worked probably 70 hours a week. I was working so hard. Yeah. Especially when I was nannying and doing this and trying to squeeze in college at the same time. So it was like, I don't know. Yeah, I was in survival mode there for a little bit.
Like just got to get the work done.
I'm young. I can rest later.
Yeah,
might as well.
But I mean, so that point, you were probably making some pretty good money in the first days because it was just you.
It was just me. Yeah, and
you were working 70 hours a week.
Yeah, it was really nice. But before payroll taxes came into play, it was really nice.
So when you would buy the stuff for these people, were you getting a reimbursement, or you had their card on file? How did that work? Because the level of clientele that use concierge services are typically not going to say, go buy a $5 item.
Right, absolutely.
And as a new business owner, if they're like, hey, Bri, can you go pick up my $20,000 worth of wine? It hasn't been paid for. You're just like,
So that was a process I did not have in place yet because I was new. That I was like, oh, I'll just buy it and they can reimburse me. Well, sometimes it would take a minute for them to reimburse me. And so there were times where I was spending like thousands of dollars on something and I'm like, hey, can you pay me? Like
here's the receipt.
I'm struggling. Yeah.
Here's my Venmo.
Yeah,
just tap it. Like right now.
Right now. Yes.
If you could, before it clears the bank account, that would be great.
That was stressful. Finally, I had one of my team members came in and she's like, we got to put some processes in place. I'm like, please. Because I was nonstop just working on how to just keep this business growing.
Right.
And not looking at the back end of it where it was contracts and, you know, more professional ways to pay versus just Venmo, because my CPA did not love Venmo very much. So she kind of came in and really helped me to build out contracts, even like a pricing sheet, just made it look very professional, which was really nice. And then I was like, hey, like, I know you've been using me, but we're just transferring over a new process. And they actually they loved it. They loved to see the growth because it was exciting for them to see me like just take another step in the right direction. So,
well, and you've had that rapport with those clients.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure they're like, finally, Bri, like
finally,
we're
thank
about
you for
it.
signing
like
up.
This is awesome.
Yes.
You know, now we can see this. I'm sure in their mind further legitimized you to a point where they're like, oh my gosh, we've had Bri since day one.
Absolutely.
Now she's got a team. She's got processes in place. She's so wonderful to deal with.
Right.
You got to have her.
Yeah. No, it's really, and word of mouth here is such a big deal. So it's my dad and I always talk about it, how it's very much like, if you're really good at what you do, people are going to talk about you, and they're going to use you, and they're going to spread the word. Absolutely.
You have almost to your detriment.
Yeah, but you have to be on all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, because it is a small town feel, if you're off a little bit one day, someone might notice and someone's going to talk about it. So it's one of those, it's pros and cons. Because I'm like, sometimes I'm like, yo, I'm just tired. Like, I just need an off day. You know?
Can you just not call me tonight?
Yeah, just today.
Tonight,
today I'm off. Yeah. I just need a moment.
But it is when you have such a service-based business.
Yeah, you have to build that rapport.
Is so much you.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have a new client, you've got to be firing on all cylinders.
Absolutely.
You can't afford to have an off day.
Yeah.
And neither can your team.
No, and that's the biggest thing. My team is, I will talk so highly of them. Like, they're the most incredible people. I've just gotten really blessed with, like, the best people for this company, because we are in people's homes. You're building a lot of trust with those people. And so that was a big part of it, is building out a handbook so that my team understood, yes, folding sounds funny, but there is a technique to it, and how you perform that and show the client how to fold after we leave, you know. So it's all these steps that I think are really helpful for my team, especially because you can't get a degree in this. You know, this isn't something you're taught. It comes naturally, or just by being okay to learn, you know. You have to be really open to learning in this industry, for sure.
So you said there's a specific way to fold a towel. And
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a specific way to organize.
There's a very specific way to do it.
How did you learn this?
So actually, one of my team members, Leanne, she's like, all right, we're going to come up with a simple living fold. So her and I, like, really work together on different ways you can fold a towel, different ways you can fold pants, shirts. And it's honestly just all, like, because of the space. Because if you're putting certain, like, items in a drawer versus out for everyone to see, there's just, like, certain folding that just works better. So we'll have actual team meetings on, like, a folding day. And we bring our laundry baskets, you know, and I'm like, someone bring towels, or we'll buy them, or we'll have our team shirts, and we practice folding, like, in bins. That way we just kind of keep it, you know, keep our, you know, skills sharp.
Like, all right, y'all do the laundries on Thursdays,
Yeah,
and Friday morning bring it in. We're going to show you how to fold everything,
Yes.
you know?
And my team has absolutely brought clothes in. They're like, I might as well.
I mean, why do you need, you know, like, test products or test items?
Right,
Just
we can just
your
bring our own
actual
clothes.
items.
Yes, exactly.
So organization obviously
Yeah.
is very important in this.
Absolutely.
Did you
Yes.
always just, like, have a knack for organization?
I did. Yeah,
Okay.
I loved everything having a place. It kept my brain just functioning better. And so it really helped me to kind of transition into that. Especially, I think it honestly really stuck when I was a nanny, because the kids I was working with, they were nonstop. It was, we're going here, here, here. I had to multitask all day long. So I was like, okay, if I'm going to do this, I have to have a process.
Right.
So I was kind of already practicing that as a nanny. And so when I walked in, and I was like, okay, how do I organize this closet? Well, first I need to measure the space, because you can look at a space and say, oh, I can put this bin here. You get that bin in and it doesn't fit, then it doesn't feel organized. And that's where I feel like a lot of people fall into. They'll just buy a bunch of product and say, can you just make this look nice? And I'm like, well, it's all different. Like, and then they kind of see the benefit of having matching bins or matching baskets or whatever it is, because it all has a system, it all has a flow.
Right.
So it's not, it's almost, yes, everything's in a bin, but it's chaotic because they're all different style bins or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of helped us to kind of separate ourselves a bit, just because when we come in for a consult, we get pictures and measurements of those spaces, so we know exactly what's going to go in those bins when we put them on the estimate, when we build it out for them.
Okay, so walk us through that process.
Sure, yeah.
Of you meet with a new client.
Yeah.
Let's say I'm your new client. What is that going to look like for me?
Yeah, so we walk in and you basically will show us that space. So say it's a pantry. We're going to take pictures and measurements of that space. So we're going to get a count of, like, those pictures help us to say, okay, they've got 5 cereal boxes. That means we need 5 cereal bins. So we're basically looking at what can go in turntables, what can go in baskets. Like, we're looking at all of those things to make it as functional for you and your family as possible. So after we get those pictures and measurements, Christina and Colby, they're the ones that go on the consult. So that's who you meet. They really will sit down with you and go over all the services and the pricing. So that way you get an idea of what the service will cost. And then the estimate will have our service price and all the bins built out. Like, what's going to go in my pantry and exactly how many will go in the pantry. So it's nice for people to be able to see like, okay, this is how much it's going to cost for this many bins.
Got it.
So now we do have sometimes people are like, can you draw it out for me? Or like, can I have a 3D design? And I'm like,
No.
we're not that advanced. I'm sorry. Like I would love, in my brain, I would love to just be able to show you what it looks like.
Like I'm thinking Chip and Joanna Gaines, where they like redesign the space on
and
the
they're
TV.
like turning it. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you're just like they do like the whole visual. Like we're gonna knock down this wall here.
Right,
we're gonna
right.
build this wall here.
Yeah.
We're gonna repurpose this bookshelf to make
Yes.
it this and that. You
Yeah.
don't do that, Bri?
No, I wish. I was
Come
like, if you
on.
want to see my drawing, that's kind of sloppy. I was like, you're just going to have to trust us. We promise we'll make it functional for you. So, yeah, that's kind of the process. And then once they approve that estimate, we go ahead and we purchase all the bins. We get a deposit from the client. So that kind of covers the cost. So that goes back to they sign their contracts and they pay a deposit. That kind of covers, I think it covers 50% of our time and 100% of supplies.
Okay.
And so that helps to kind of cover us purchasing it, and then whatever we don't use, we return it, and that'll show on the final invoice.
Got
So
it.
someone will see like, okay, we may have estimated 20 large bins, but we only use 10. So that'll show on the final invoice. So
do you have like an agreement with a Container Store or something?
yeah, I mean,
Like a partnership?
no, but I actually did. I'm looking into it right now. Yeah, did a little affiliate with them. Yeah,
It's like, I mean, why not?
Why not? I know.
You're telling people what bins to put in their
exactly.
house.
Yes.
This episode is proudly presented by Gage. Gage is a local company here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. For over 40 years, Gage has provided businesses with the very best telecommunications, IT, and standby power services available. Gage has a variety of services, including Gage Cloud Voice. It is the last phone system your business will ever need. You need to give your business the ability to be accessible anytime, anywhere, and with Gage's cloud-based phone system, you'll be able to accomplish just that. Not only do they have Gage Cloud Voice, they have fully managed IT services that are proactive network monitoring, 24/7, 365, help desk, business continuity. They are there for you. What you're also going to need is some cybersecurity. Gage is there to safeguard your business from potential cyber threats, even when you aren't aware they exist. Gage also is power and leaders in standby generators. They are the #1 Cummins dealer on the Gulf Coast and provide generators to homes and businesses of any size so you can keep life going. Gage, better connected, a proud sponsor of the Patty G Show.
So for a while there, we were using Bed Bath & Beyond.
Okay.
But because they
Don't exist.
well, Overstock bought them, so they do exist. It's just not in the same way. So we've been utilizing Container Store now. So now it's like, okay, it makes sense to affiliate ourselves with them because we're utilizing so many of their bins. So
Have you been to the one in Nashville?
No, but the one in Georgia. And my friend called me and she's like, "Where are you?" And I was like, I'm at my second home. Like I was there for 3 hours, just looking around, buying all. My car was filled with baskets and bins, and I was like, "How do I fit my luggage?"
How am I getting home?
I'm coming home with product. So I love it though.
Yeah, I mean, but that's all part of it. When
Yes.
people buy groceries and whatnot, they
Yeah.
just like, we're just going to buy it and just stick it on the shelves and then
Exactly.
use it as we need it. But
Yeah.
the bins really do save space.
Yes, and it's great for kids too because when we're organizing a space like that, we'll put, if the parents allow it, we'll put like their snacks down low, so they're not constantly asking the parents,
Right.
"Hey, can we have a snack?" They can go to their and sometimes it has their name on it. It's a very specific snack drawer. That way, there's no fighting. It's like you go to your bin, you grab your snack, and you go. So that's really nice.
You get your,
So-
your own little personalized snack bin.
Exactly, yes.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's nice to incorporate the organizing with the concierge because we're grocery shopping for them. So we bring the groceries in, we unload them, and we keep the spaces organized. So the one nice thing about being a concierge client is that they get a 15% off discount with all of their services. So they get a nice little discount. So if they are utilizing for concierge, they're like, you might as well come in, declutter my closet or whatever service we're offering, you can declutter those spaces. That way when you come in to hang my clothes, put my clothes back up in a drawer, or pantry clothes or pantry food, that way it goes into a space that we were already organized.
Yeah.
So it's really nice for them.
Well, and you like it because you get a
Yes.
good base.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
like we have a controlled base to work off of.
Yeah.
You know, we're not dealing with 5-year-old ketchup in
Right.
the
Yes.
fridge.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
We know what we've got is all good stuff.
Yes, and when we go, a lot of our clients who use us weekly, we kind of go through and we always clean out the fridge. So if produce looks bad or something's expired, we're kind of keeping up with that on a weekly basis. So for them, they're just thinking about getting their kids to school or projects. Like they're able to really focus on the things they love and want to do versus the things that they're really not fond of, Because some of our
but are necessary.
Yeah, are necessary. Like clients are like, I don't mind washing and drying the clothes. It's the folding. So they're like, it's on the couch. Like, have fun,
I love that.
Yeah, it's really great. And it's very rewarding for us because we really build a relationship with our clientele. And I've talked to so many of them where it does feel like family because you're on a more personal level where like they have to put an animal down or something happens in their family. Like they come to us and there's been times my team's called me and they're like, well, we cried today, so it's like, cause you just build that relationship with them. That's just it's really special. So
do you, at this point, it almost sounds like you can offer like budgeting services for groceries and stuff like that. Because if they're having you grocery for them,
right?
Are they saying, hey, Bri, keep it below a certain threshold? Or is it like, just get us whatever we need? Pretty
much. Sometimes someone will be like, hey, if you're going to deliver this for me, can you let me know how much it's going to cost before you do it? So like, there are times where someone will be a little more cost like conscious and say, hey, let me know before you buy it. But a lot of times they know they've already bought what they're asking us to buy, so they know what we're going into. Especially if we're going to Martin's Wine Cellar or something like they know.
They've kind of already picked out the wine that they're going to have.
Oh yeah. Especially when they tell me what wine, they're like, they understand. So, but they'll voice it if they do have a budget. So yeah.
Have you ever done a purchase and then come back and then be like, I was not expecting it to be that much? Can you send it back, or what can you do, or I'm not paying for it? Like, obviously you weed out clients that have that mentality from the get-go,
right.
But have you ever run across that?
If I have, I've erased it from my memory.
It's gone. It's no
gone.
longer there.
I'm like,
you don't dwell on it.
Yeah, I'm like, you're gonna have to communicate with me, I don't know. Probably after this, I'll text you and let you know.
This one person. They're no longer a client.
Yeah.
But they were just.
Yeah. And luckily we've really been so blessed with the best clients. Like our clients right now, they're appreciative. They really have taken us on as family, husband and wives. Because that's the best part. Is like obviously most of the time it's the wife who's like, I need help. I'm drowning. Like, come to my house, please.
Right.
Then the husband kind of gets on board and is like, what's this all about? And then you start getting texts from them. Hey, can you bring my car into the shop? Hey, can you go get an oil change? Hey, can you bring my suit to the cleaner? Hey, can you bring my suit to the office for me? Like, there's been so many times where we have one husband that texted us once and was like, I had to fly to New Orleans for a meeting, but my suits are at home in Baton Rouge. Can you bring it to me? So we literally grabbed his suits from the closet, drove him to New Orleans, and came back. So he was all set. So it's just like whatever our clients need, we truly, like, if we have the time, like, we definitely help them out. So, yeah it's pretty amazing.
So walk me through your first hire. When did you know it was the right time?
Oh, yeah.
And how did you go about it?
Yeah, so actually it was one of our college friends' wives, and she was like, I love what you do. I'm really interested in it. And I was like, you know what? This would be so much fun. Just because I loved her to death. Like, we just had she had a great calming personality. So it was nice for like kind of an extrovert and introvert to mix. So she was the one that kind of helped me come up with the processes and came up with the contracts and really got me to that point. And it was just us two. So we were really working side by side in all of our projects. So honestly, it was more of just a friend. Like, there was nothing professional about it like it is now. We've got like an HR company and all.
Wow.
Oh yeah, now it's like background checks and they do training videos and it's like very legit now.
But beforehand, it was like, hey, how many hours? I'll just Venmo you.
Yeah, exactly. No, but really though. Yeah, and then it was like my CPA came in. She's like, all right, we're gonna have to do this a little clean. It was a little messy, so let's clean it up. So it was, so my CPA was great to come in and kind of help me in that route to help me clean up my books and keep me on a clean record, Yeah. I would get it clean.
They're like, all right, Bri, you've got a real business here now.
Yeah.
Let's
make it feel real.
Yeah, let's make it feel real.
Yes.
Let's make sure your clients are repaying you for those Martin Wine Cellar visits.
Uh-huh.
Like,
yes.
You can't be floating these grocery bills all month anymore, Bri.
You're like, I'm working so hard, but I'm so broke. How is this a possibility?
Where is the money?
Yes. Yeah. But now that we have the process in place and people just can pay us over online, it's really easy now. So, yeah. And clients are good about it. They're very respectful of that. I think because they understand there's a team to pay for now. And, and they're worth every penny, too.
Well, and now it's a business, right?
Yes.
Now it's not just, Bri's helping us out. She's providing these services. Now it's like, no. We've actually got Simple Living is a company.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
we've got an organization that's helping us with this.
Yes. Yeah.
So, and I saw you a couple years ago
Yeah.
at Holidays.
Yes, I did. I was gift wrapping, but yeah, that was a scene because we had so many people as staff because we were like ready to wrap. But where we were located, not a lot of people saw us, so that was a little hard.
Yeah. You're at the vendor's entrance.
Yeah, I was like, hi.
Thank you so very much to Building 5 for becoming the latest sponsor of the Patty G Show. We are going to be filming once a month at Building 5. We're going to post about it on our social so you can come and visit with us. Building 5 is an excellent food establishment if you're into sharing boards and really getting a creative menu. Misty and Brumby have done an excellent job of creating an environment that's warm, welcoming, and inviting for every single occasion. Go on over to Building 5 in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and tell them that the Patty G Show sent you.
But we got to, I mean, it's getting our name out there. And that was in those beginning phases of like, how do I market? How do I get my name out there in the most cost efficient way? And I grew up going to Holidays. So I was like, let's try it. Let's see like what, and, you know, again, we were talking to people, getting our name out there. It was just one extra step to just growing Simple Living. So, because now we do strictly the Scout Guide and social media and word of mouth. So
what were the phases of your marketing that you went through?
So a lot of it was Instagram. Like my focus was just hustle on Instagram, post everything and anything I was doing. And then I was able to kind of put together more funds, obviously, as I grew and was able to be in the in register. They actually asked me to be in it and did a feature. And that was probably one of the bigger moments because a lot of people were like, hey, you look familiar. Where did I see you? And then I could show in the in register, like, yeah, that's exactly where I saw you. So that was really nice. That was like a kind of first moment that I realized, oh, marketing outside of just Instagram can have a lot of benefits. So did in register for a little bit and then moved into the Scout Guide, and I've been with the Scout Guide ever since. I think they've been with them for 3 years now.
Yeah, I've seen you a couple years.
Yeah, so it's been so great. So Kaylee does a really good job at promoting us, and if we have a special going on or we did a beautiful closet that we want to show off, I can send it directly to her. She'll post it, and it's nice to like have another person on your team to kind of push your business and it not feel just on you. So that's a big benefit.
Yeah, getting people to free up your time is huge.
It's huge. Yeah, I learned that pretty quickly. I was like, I can't do it all anymore. I was like, I have to find the right people to help me. And so it kind of grew into just hiring people that felt right in those moments to really build rapport with clients so that I could take a step back and really focus on the business side of it, which is not honestly my favorite part. Like I'm very much like, I want to be in like with like in the projects or with the people. Like that's always been my main goal. But to grow a business, someone has to do the back end stuff.
Somebody has to work on the business.
Someone
and not
has
just
to.
In the business.
Exactly. Yeah. So right now, the team I do have, they really were able to let me do that. Like I was able to slowly take a step back where I could focus more on the business, help the growth, and then having a child in the midst of the holidays was a little chaotic because I'm always there Christmas decorating, but they were able to really take it on and do a fantastic job, and all our clients were so happy that like they now have a great system in place where they don't necessarily need me, but I'm like, hey, if you need me,
I'm here. I'm still here, y'all.
I really miss being in the closet. You know, I really want to organize. So,
but I mean, have you taken a step back to recognize that Simple Living has like grown beyond your name, beyond your image, and like now it's a brand?
Yeah, and that's pretty. I kind of started to set it up that way a little bit, where I was like, because I was the only face on there, but then I wasn't the one always going on projects. So my team, I was like, y'all have to start getting on stories and talking more because y'all are the ones going into these people's homes, and they want to know who's coming in. And it's nice to like just build rapport, even if it's just through the internet, you know?
Yeah.
And so I slowly started to back off a little bit more to where it allowed them to kind of show their face. And then I kind of backed off completely. And then now people are like, wait, who's Bri? Like who? And I'm like, maybe I should have like,
wait, who is this Bri person? And why do you have to call her and get approval for this? What are you talking about?
Yeah, what's happening behind the scenes here?
Like,
yeah.
I thought this was just you.
Yeah,
like,
it's real hush hush. Yeah. Yeah. So they have really, it's great to be able to find a team who takes on Simple Living like as their own. Like they love it as much as I do, and that is not easy to find because I started this company really wanting to relieve families of stress because I really thrived off of that. I loved that my families got to come home and cook dinner, enjoy meals together, and just enjoy that time, very little time that they had with each other because of how much they were working or whatnot. So it's nice to be able to see them feel so rewarded and thriving after a day of work, even if it feels like just folding, what it's doing for that family. They come home and there's no clothes on the couch. Like, kids know where their clothes are. You know where your clothes are. You can just get work. You can get your self-dressed for work the next day. It's just nice to see my team really take it on. And I'm not nervous about them going into a house and not, treating a client as I would treat them. Yeah. So, yeah.
Having that service,
yeah,
even just a little bit, changes your whole perspective on, like, everything.
Everything, yeah.
So, like, we hired a cleaner for our house.
Yeah.
And they, like, wash the sheets.
Yes.
They make the bed.
Mm-hmm.
They fold the towels. They put them away.
Right.
And I'm like, this is... we come home after they're done. I'm like, this is... What?
Yeah, what do I do with myself?
I don't know. What do I do with
guess we can
I don't know
play.
what to do. Yeah, I'm like,
Yeah.
You get into bed and you're like, am I getting into a hotel room?
Right,
like,
yeah.
this is insane.
You're like, I have a chocolate mint on my
Like,
pillow.
I didn't know we had chocolate mints in the fridge. Like, it's
Yeah.
crazy what
Mm-hmm.
something so simple
Yeah.
in the task itself,
Right.
making a bed, folding clothes is a simple task.
Right.
But the effect that it can have
Yes.
on the client and the
Yeah.
end user is just next level.
Oh, it is. And honestly, I've always respected moms. Like, I'm the oldest of 6, so I've seen how hard my mom worked, and I thank her every day. And once I realized it and came to that, I was like, you know what? Now that I'm a mom and I'm having to do all the things that my mom was doing, we're in charge of teaching them how to eat, walk, sleep, train. It's all the little things.
Not chew on dog bones.
Right, not chew on dog bones. My gosh, building immunity here.
Right with you.
Yeah, and so it's a higher respect level. So then when we're offering this service to moms and dads, it's just, it puts it in a different perspective now, because I'm like, wow, they get to finally come home and not have to focus on these tedious things. Because one actually incredible service that we offer for our concierge clients is we'll meal prep for them. So even though we'll go grocery shopping for them, we come home and we cut everything. So that way, all they have to do, if they're making a quick little stir fry, all they have to do is grab their peppers, onions, whatever it is, throw it in the pan with the meat, and that's just something. It's just another.
See, y'all like Hello Freshin' it up in there.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Sometimes they'll ask, like, can you just meal prep? And I'm like, that's a liability, I think. Like, the chicken, like, dealing with meat, yeah, we're gonna have to stop. That's where we say no. That's where we draw the line.
Here's a different contract that I need you to sign.
Yeah. If you get sick.
Yeah, the food's not cooked. You're responsible for getting it up to temperature.
Absolutely, yeah. So that's a big no for us. Is like, we'll cut it up and get it set up for you, but you actually have to put the meal together. So yeah.
I think your insurance agent would have a different conversation.
Oh,
with you.
he would look at me like, absolutely not. Yeah.
Like,
he already questions me a little bit.
Here's what it's going to cost to do that service for
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's already taken. He still looks at some of our services. He's like, yeah, don't offer this. Don't do that. Oh, he was like, that can get messy very quickly. And I'm like, all right, maybe we can let go of that service.
Did you ever think it would get here? Like, the fact that you're having a conversation with your insurance guy about what services you can and cannot offer?
Yeah, that was a moment where I was like, oh, yeah, you're right. Because, especially with relocation, that was a big one. Dealing with movers, and we used to offer day of coordinating, but then it's the kind of the chaos of dealing with movers, and you're packing, and it's a lot of work for us, a lot of manual labor, but then working with other companies, which they were fantastic to work with, but it just puts a lot of pressure on us and stress to make sure everything goes well. So that's one thing that I was like, we need to let go of this. Like, we can help with the packing, the unpacking, decluttering, organizing, really simplify that side, but all you have to do is be there the day of, and never leave your movers alone. Like, always be there to assist. So, because the guys are sweet, but like, they're just trying to get the job done quick, and they need or not. So sometimes you need someone to just like, all right, let's go.
Yeah, come on.
I would like to be in my new house by 6:00 tonight. Thank you.
You still have to unpack these boxes
tonight.
Right,
tonight. Yeah, and that's something we used to do, is unpack some boxes in the evening to get their bed set up. And sometimes our clients will still hire us, like, hey, we're going to be at the house at 4. Can y'all come for a couple of hours and just help us to get the beds made? And so that way the kids and everybody just kind of feels more at home than just having to sleep on air mattresses or in a hotel. So
yeah. Well, because that Now, as you know, the mother side of you understands the sleep schedule getting
yes.
disrupted.
Oh yeah.
From a change in bed.
I think I would
change
just
in
do a
scenery,
hotel, to be
change in
honest.
location.
Yeah, I think I would just stick to a hotel.
Yeah, like, hey, we're just gonna sleep in a hotel for the next 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Yeah. We're gonna get adjusted here.
A week before the move,
yes.
and then a week after the move, just so
chaos.
it's
Yeah,
we've got
chaos.
plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Yeah, and so that it's very rewarding for us because just doing those few things for them, it just relieves, even if they did have to do the day of, that they're like, okay, I can handle this part. Like, this isn't as overwhelming as it felt when I felt like I needed to pack, unpack, organize it, and deal with move. It's it's a little bit of everything, so it helps relieve that day, I think, a little bit. So, yeah.
I mean, it's a very stressful time, and if it's
does,
your first move,
oh my gosh,
you're emotional about it. Well, I mean,
Yes.
you're emotional every move,
right? Yeah,
But that first move,
Yeah.
from the first house,
Yeah.
is like this is.
and
This
usually
is
that's the one that you
home.
usually collect the most stuff in.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it's time to throw away something. Like, you do not want to pack like stuff that you never wanted and bring it into your brand new home. So that's a great service that we'll offer, is help declutter beforehand and kind of go through those spaces. And honestly, there's sometimes where we'll clear out almost an entire room, so all they have to pack is maybe the linens on the bed. So it's nice because you also save on supplies too. Like, you're not having to purchase thousands of dollars worth of supplies just to pack up stuff that you never wanted.
Yeah.
So that's a nice little service that people usually will be like, yeah, come in my house and throw away everything, please. Thank you.
Patty G Show is proudly brought to you by Mimosa Handcrafted Jewelry. Mimosa Handcrafted Jewelry is a local business right here in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They create handcrafted jewelry for everyday use, that special occasion, whatever it may be. Gentlemen, they've got amazing jewelry both for male and female. Everyone is their audience. You know, after years of experimenting with everything from ceramic jewelry, glass beads, and enamel, they've settled in on the ancient art of lost wax casting is their main form of creating their work. They cast everything in bronze, sterling silver, and 14 karat gold. Every step of the way is done here right in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Proud sponsors of the Patty G Show. Mimosa Handcrafted Jewelers. Get out there and tell them that Patty G sent you, and they're going to take great care of you on your next order.
I think back when it was just you or a smaller team.
Yeah,
I think I ran into you at Home Depot with my dad.
Oh, you absolutely
And
did.
you had you were pushing like a truck cart
Yes,
full of boxes, and we're
Yeah.
like, "You moving, Bri?" You're like,
Yeah.
"No, a client is. A client's moving, and I got to get a pallet of boxes."
I mean, that's probably why my body's probably a little broken now because of that. Because I had the Mazda CX-5 at the time, had those seats down, and I was just, if anyone is looking for a good SUV that fits a lot of stuff, that's the car.
Mazda CX-5?
Oh, it fits. People will be like, "There's no way that'll fit." I'm like, challenge accepted. It will fit. And so, yeah, I think y'all were like, "Are you good?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I do this all the time." Just shoving boxes. Now we have a great little transit van, so that saves everybody's cars now. So that's been really, really helpful. Yeah.
And then, as you start to further legitimize the company, and you're like, "Well, wait, we can afford a van.
Yeah.
We can afford all these other things." That
Right.
beforehand, you're like, "All right, everybody, borrow SUVs,
But
borrow
really,
your
though,
friends'
yes.
cars. I need a truck. Hey,
Yeah.
can I
I was
borrow
like,
a
"Does your
truck?"
dad have a truck? Perfect, bring it." And my team was so understanding, and they were like, "We'll just shove what we can in our cars." But then it gets to the point where you're like, "Okay, my brand new car is getting beat up."
Yeah.
So we need to figure out a solution. And so luckily we were able to find a really great transit van that can move. And then we still sometimes have to use our car, especially if we're decluttering a massive house. But it's nice to at least know that we have an option outside of our cars.
you have a different designated vehicle.
Yes,
that
exactly.
is just wall to wall, just destruction. Doesn't matter.
Yeah,
you
just
know?
toss it in.
Just toss it in.
Yeah, you can shove it. It's
That's
fine.
right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
have you gotten to the point where you have like an office space of some sort?
So we have an office. It's actually right next to, we're talking about Jackie. We're right there.
Okay.
Off of Bluebonnet and North Oak Hills Parkway.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're right there. There's a couple office spaces, so we share a space with actually another CPA office. But we have it there for our team. That way we have a place to always meet, a storage place for all the bins that we keep in stock. And then when we have big parties, it's nice to have a place where we can like put flower arrangements together. Or like this past weekend, we had to blow up a bunch of pool balloons. And so the pool ball, so like one of my team members was there at night, like just blowing up pool floats, you know? So it's nice to just be able to have a space that we can kind of call home, and then we can all meet together, and it is really nice. So, yeah.
It's nice to also have like a centralized location.
Yes, definitely.
For where you're going to go. Because it sounds like y'all's consults are more in
it
people's
has to be at home,
homes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of, even if we're meeting for a party or whatever it is, we're usually having that party in their house.
Right.
So it's nice to see those spaces. Because a lot of times, like, oh, can we just do a phone consult? I'm like, we can, but not really seeing the spaces that we're working with. It's hard to give you an exact estimate on what those spaces look like too. So we typically, I don't think we've ever actually met a client at our office space, only because it makes more sense to meet them at the house.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So we've talked a lot about the moving and the concierge service,
Yes.
but you'll offer other services as
Yes.
well. I mean, you're mentioning party plannings and
Yes.
inflatables.
I know.
So, what else is it that you do now?
Yeah, so we do a lot of party planning. My team just loved it, and I was like, if y'all want to work weekends, that's fine. Like, it's not something they have to do. But a lot of our clients who are concierge clients, it's their kids' first birthdays, baptisms, it's their kids graduating from high school. It's a little bit of everything. And then when it comes to Christmas, then they're having Christmas parties. They're doing family Christmas parties and work Christmas parties. So and these are people we've worked with for a long time, and so we kind of know what those dates look like. So that's usually where it comes from, is that our concierge clients are like, well, since you're already in my home, can you also do the parties? So that's really nice, because that gives my team obviously more hours, and they also really enjoy it because it's just something. It's a very pretty experience,
right.
So even though we're sweating at the end, you're like, this is beautiful.
Yeah.
When it's 115 outside and you're having a pool party, you better get a lot of dry ice. Like, it's just gonna be a hot day.
you need something to bring that
No one's gonna be
down.
on stories that day. Like, we all are melting.
Everybody's gonna be behind the camera.
Yes. Yeah.
Here's the party we threw.
Yeah, or like side,
From the back.
From the back
of the head.
Yes.
It's like everybody's got hats on. You know?
Yeah. So we do that, and then we have our Christmas, our holidays. So we do everything for gift wrapping, Christmas decorating, Christmas parties, putting together toys. Like, we kind of become like Santa's elves, like, in a sense, where it's just, we've got husbands who last minute, they're like, I need one more gift for my wife. Can you go to edit and go pick up something? And this could be Christmas Eve. Like, there are times where it's been like the day before Christmas, and I'm like, I think I should just text you next year, like a month in advance, and say, okay, are we ready? Are we prepped? Do I need to buy anything?
That's a good idea.
Yeah. So some of our clients we do reach out to, especially if it's happened in the past. We'll reach out to and say, hey, like, are you ready? Like, do you have your Mother's Day gift? Do you have your Christmas gift? Do you have, it's like we kind of just knock everything out.
All right, Jimmy, it's Mother's Day next month. Do you have it picked out?
Yeah.
Okay. What about your wife?
Because Mother's Day, I know they love their wives, but it's always like the scramble of like, I need flowers or a gift.
Yeah, I need something.
And so that's kind of our busiest time between Christmas and Mother's Day. It's like, can you go run to the store and go grab this for me? Or like, do you know what she would like? Because we're in their homes. We're talking to them all day. So like we know a lot of the like brands that they like or whatnot. So it's fun.
That's hysterical.
Which that's the fun part, the adrenaline. And then when the husbands get involved and they appreciate what we're doing for them and for their wives, that's probably the most special moment for us, when a husband notices a closet's organized or something got done in the house that he's been seeing for a while, and he's like, oh, I never realized it could look that good, And I'm like, when a husband realizes it, it's a bonus for us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're able to see, wow, everybody's realizing what we're doing.
Yeah, it's a huge benefit. Cool. Yeah, it's really nice. So
thank you to Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge for making this show possible. Nick Pentis is a past guest. We love having him on. Listening to him talk about the culture they have over at Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge is really an incredible thing to hear. How they treat not only their employees, but every customer that walks through the door. You are more than just a number to them. They're going to give you that white glove concierge service every step of the way. They're going to make you feel like family and take what can be a stressful time in people's life, shopping for a car. They're going to make it so enjoyable and so pleasurable. You're going to want to go back there time and time again for every new vehicle. Thank you so very much for Mercedes-Benz of making this show possible.
So do you have like people's like anniversaries in your calendars, and you're sending out reminders like, hey,
we should.
Anniversary's coming up around the corner. Yes. Do you need anything?
Yeah.
Do you have a gift purchase? Like,
right.
Where are we at this year?
We haven't gotten that far with anniversary. We really stick to Mother's Day and Christmas.
I mean, but there could be a market for it.
I know there could be. Yeah, you're like, just drop your anniversary date. Tell me what you want. We'll wrap it. Yeah, we'll let the husband know that we already picked it out for you.
Look, wrapping services.
That's huge. It's huge.
It's like the most underappreciated
Yes.
sector when it comes to holiday time or just gift wrapping and all, in general.
Oh, yeah. Because my mom's in the back Christmas Eve just wrapping gifts and then bringing them out. And when someone asks us to Christmas wrap, we're done, and then they can just go enjoy being with their family.
Oh, it's fantastic.
Yeah,
Like if I purchase something and I am given the option to gift wrap and it's a present, I'm checking that box.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Every single time. Every single time.
Yeah.
So like McLavy does that for clothes where it's like you buy it and then they'll actually gift wrap it for that person you're buying it for if you are. And like they got a whole station back there. So I'm like, this is it's game changer.
It is.
And then I love getting a box, then you open it up and inside of it's like a carefully packaged box of this wrapped present.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, under the tree. This is fantastic.
And we're done.
And we're done.
Yes.
I'll be like, oh, wait, a card? I can personalize the card. This is...
Will you actually write it for me, too? Thank you.
Yeah. Hey, making sure it's handwritten, or at least use a handwritten font.
We have clients who do it. We've written Christmas cards for people, especially older people. We've had some elderly ladies who have hired us to write their Christmas cards just because
it's hard to write.
It's hard to write now. And I was like, you know what? That's so smart. When I'm 90 years old... Like, I'm not going to want to write thank you cards. So that's it is really nice. And like, we'll either go wrap gifts at someone's home. So they'll have a room just filled with gifts and we'll buy the paper, or they already have the paper purchased. So we'll spend the day just wrapping gifts, or we bring them to our office and like the whole team shows up and we've got 6 clients and everybody just has posted notes and we're just wrapping. Like, all right, you're in charge of this person. You're in charge of this person. Go. So
and then you're like Santa Claus.
Really though.
And you go deliver the packages and you're like, hey, we're coming tonight.
Yeah, you're like, I'm gonna put it in the garage. Like there was I had a sweet client. She would bring all the gifts to her mom's house in the garage. I would go pick them up, wrap everything, put the toys together, and then drop them back off in the garage, and then the husband would come and pick them up. And I was like, that's genius.
Yeah.
I was like, just rent a storage unit for the month and we'll just they'll be like, is there a drug deal going on? What is happening? We're like just swapping gifts.
I think that's a Simple Living next level service.
Absolutely, yeah.
Store the presents at the office now.
Yeah. Just drop them off when you have them.
Yeah, drop them off. Add our address to your Amazon account.
Yes,
just ship them to the office, Yes. Like just put, Susan Smith, Simple Living. Like just put it on the address.
Just send it to us.
You don't have to worry about bringing it.
You can actually
here.
write it, the personalized card, so we know exactly who it's going to. I'm going to let my team know this. I'm like, all right, new system in place. We're going to add a process.
we need a storage facility in the back of the office for Christmas presents.
Yeah. And it's covered in, we are covered in glitter from like end of October until end of January, covered, because we put up the decor and we take down. Okay. So that's what makes it easy for us to come in and decorate, because especially if it's a reoccurring client, we already have everything organized and labeled. So we've had clients who they love to decorate, but they don't want to take down. So we'll come in and take down and label everything where it came from, so that next year they're literally putting that bin next to the fireplace, or this is the Christmas tree bin, or it's really nice to like at least have some kind of system so that your holidays even if you wanted the kids to decorate, they're going to put it in somewhat the right spot, You can let go a little bit.
Yeah, you can at least, you don't have a diagram drawn out of like, this is how this nutcracker goes and faces this way.
Don't make me fix it.
So what's on the horizon? What's next for Simple Living?
So, we're going to continue to grow here, keep continuing to help clients in Baton Rouge. I think my main focus now is really helping people to grow concierge businesses in different areas. I've had people say, oh, I wish Simple Living was in this area. Oh, I wish you guys lived closer. And it's kind of trying to figure out how to go about that. Franchising for me seems a little overwhelming, only because there's so many legality aspects to it, and I have to trust other people to use my brand in the right way and to not diminish what we've done here, So I am on the route of possibly making courses to kind of help people to say, I can choose my own company name, but where do I start, and how do I grow, how do I hustle, and be able to kind of give them all like how to have a business.
Yeah.
So they can look and say, oh, she already has the process in place. Here's a contract that I can base my contract off of. This is my pricing sheet. Basically giving them the skills that I've already developed, so that way they're not having to do that stuff. Because that is, when you're starting a business and you're having to learn all those little things, it becomes very overwhelming. And it can be costly too, especially if you're not doing it the right way and you have to, find your way through it.
When you realize you have to maybe get a deposit for the items that you're going to purchase.
Yes,
and not, just let it
Just
float
wing
on
it.
your
Yeah.
let it float on your Discover card or something.
You're like, they'll get back to me. It's fine, So I'm thinking that that's going to be really the route that we go, is offering coaching from my end, helping really, like if someone has a question saying, hey, how did you deal with this situation? And then helping them grow in that, because I really love to teach people. Like, that entrepreneurial side is something I love, and I love watching other people grow. Like, it is just very exciting to see small businesses in Baton Rouge grow the way they're growing, because our community really does such a solid job of helping them to do that. So, because you really can't do it you can only grow so much without the community. So it's been great to be a part of it, to be able to grow where we are, and then say, I can grow this into more than what it is now.
Right.
And so it's exciting to think. I mean, of course, I want to go down every aspect. I'm like, okay, I have to stay focused. As an entrepreneur, you're like wanting to grab at every good idea. And I'm like, okay, if I can focus on this can bring in a little more cash flow, and then I can focus on the next thing. And it's just this, having to keep myself focused in that sense too, because I'm like, I want to do it all,
Yeah.
So,
not be the everywhere, everything
right,
all the time.
yes.
It's
And
tough.
that's what helped me with Simple Living, to say, what are we good at? What can we simplify? Because when I was beginning, you should have seen my pricing sheet. It was like, I broke down every single service, all the pricing for it. And it was like, if someone looked at it, they're like, this is overwhelming. Like, I don't know how much I'm paying you to do. It was just a lot, because I was trying to encompass everything into one sheet, And some of my team members were like, how about we just focus on the 3? And then that way, when we go on a consult, we can say, concierge organizing relocation, this is what we offer in the services, and this is what it costs. And it's just like, it's very to the point. And now clients go, I know what I'm paying for.
Yeah.
So it's nice, because they have an idea, they can budget for it, they can explain it to their husbands clearly and get them on the same page, so it's nice to be able to have that simplified, especially for my team now that I'm not on consults anymore. For them to explain it, it's much easier to explain now. So, yeah.
and now you've got that system in place where you can translate that and transpose it elsewhere.
Oh, yeah.
Where some people are going to have that same thing. You
Right.
ever pick up a menu at a restaurant and it's like 20 pages long, and you're just you just point
what's
at it
good?
like,
What's your favorite?
I don't know what to pick here.
Yeah,
it can be
absolutely.
very overwhelming,
Yeah,
and there's power in simplicity.
Yeah, and it was definitely a moment, because there were some clients that we lost because it was too overwhelming.
Yeah.
And so I look back and because I think about some of those clients, and I'm like, maybe I should reach out. Let them know we simplified it. Like, we have a process now. Like, we're not just a small business that doesn't have their ish together. Like, we really, we have such a process in place, and it's so funny. My project manager, or my office manager, Jody, she's always like, Bri, you did not follow the process. Like, we get the Instagram message or the phone call, then I send an email. Like, we have a whole process in place to communicate with our clients. And that way it keeps us on track of who we've talked to, who we've sent estimates out to, invoices out to. It keeps us on track, because when we're out in the field all day and then we go, oh, did they pay? Or did they see their estimate? Or do we need to follow back up with them? We have all those processes in place to kind of cover ourselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, because that's a lot of it, is covering yourself. Our contract's a little thick now. It's fine.
Sometimes it's got to be, though.
Yeah, you're like, ooh, that was a little lesson. Throw that in the contract, please. Thank you. Yeah.
Look, we got into, I bought a little rental property here in Baton Rouge, and I started with a 2 or 3 page lease agreement.
Yeah.
Had one tenant, and now it's 15 pages.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like, it just...
I have to apologize to clients. I'm like, I'm sorry, please read it, but this is necessary. Like, it's not every client we've experienced something bad with, but there's been lessons learned throughout the 7 years we've been open, and we've had to have those, conversations or put them in the contract. So it's nice, because if we do run into a little moment with a client, we can say respectfully, like, well, here, like, the client states, or the contract states. So and then they go, maybe they don't love that we have something, but it is nice that, like, at least they see it and we're not making it up, and then they have a lot more trust in us too.
Yeah.
So it builds just the trust there as well. So,
and it can further legitimize it as well.
Exactly.
It's not like, oh, they're just going to come in and do X,
We're just
Y,
gonna
and
throw
Z.
bins in.
We're going to throw bins in. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
no, there's there's structure here, there's
Yes.
organization, there's a reason to the why
Exactly.
for everything that happens.
Yeah.
So I love
exactly.
it.
Yeah. It's the best. I've always wanted to find a way to really help families to relieve that stress, give them their time back, and that we were able to do that it's so rewarding. And I miss it. So I'm like, team, let me in. They're like, Bri, we're good. We can handle this project today. And I'm like, okay, but if someone's out sick, like someone cough, like something.
Somebody, you're sick
You're
now.
sick.
You're sick.
So I'm excited because Christmas is going to be here soon enough, and I'll be able to hop back in and really help with the decorating side of it. So it'll be nice.
Good.
So, yeah.
So as we start to wind down the show,
Yeah,
we have
definitely.
a set list of questions we
Yes.
ask every guest.
Yeah.
So what is something you did as a kid you wish you could still do today?
Yeah, so I actually thought about this because I was like, I have a silly one and then I have a serious one.
We'll take them both.
Yeah, so the silly one. So I grew up, my parents were really into sailing, so we did a lot of sailboat races, and we were always on boats and jet skiing. And I jet skied as a little kid, and I really was focused on being a professional jet skier as an adult.
Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think so. I never really looked that far into it because as I got older, I realized that's not happening. But I'm pretty sure I saw on ESPN there was actually like a race going on, and I was like, wait a minute, this is real. I could do this.
This is my new passion.
This is it.
Simple jet skis.
Buy Simple Living. And I was like, ooh, I could get a branded Simple Living jet ski, teal and white.
Ooh,
Yeah. My body.
sponsor
Sponsor.
your
My
own
own
jet
race.
ski.
And I was like, my body's a little too broken for that. I don't know if I can handle it anymore. But one of my biggest passions was always being a counselor for kids at camps. And honestly, I've always said this, when I'm older, I want to buy land and have a camp for kids that they can come and not only learn about faith, but also to just how to be a kind leader in the world. And that's just something that I've always been very passionate about. I worked in New York for a year with the Boys and Girls Clubs, but I also helped run a leadership training program there. And I was able to teach girls in New York and Connecticut, those areas, like how to be a leader in the world that we're in, still be kind, still have our faith, but not have to throw our faith in someone's face. Like there's a way to portray faith without even mentioning it, so it's just like how we act and live. And that was something I was super passionate about. So like that's something like definitely later down the road that's on my to-do list for sure.
You'll get there.
Oh yeah. I was like, if I could be a camp counselor right now, I absolutely would, because I live for the cheering. I just live for just that joy that camp brings kids. So
You gotta have like simple camp or something,
I love it. Yeah. Goals. Yeah. Baby steps.
Baby steps.
Baby steps.
So what are 3 lessons you've learned along the way?
Yeah, so one of mine is definitely find the silver lining in everything. I have been able to find the silver lining in some of the hardest moments in Simple Living, because if you allow those hard moments to take over, you're like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done, So it's trying to find the silver lining in those moments. Like, what can I learn? What can I do better next time? Like, I'm always looking how to better myself. There's always room for improvement. And so that was a big one for me. And then not comparing myself. Instagram's a scary place for that sometimes, because like you can start seeing like, ooh, they're hustling a little more than me, or they're doing this, or they've got this together, or whatever it is. So I've really learned to like just do. I know that I'm good at this. Like just do what I'm good at, and people are going to respect that, and they're going to acknowledge it. And then really one of the bigger things is practice what I preach. So like people always go, is your house so organized? I'm like, yes, it is. Like I have a bin in every place in my home, and it's labeled. It's really for my husband, babysitters, mother, whoever's coming to my house, they know where to find all the baby stuff, or at least they know where the groceries are, so it helps me to keep my mind clear. But I'm also, when someone asks me, do you live like this? I can honestly say yes.
Yeah.
Because it really does help me to live life more efficiently. Because I have so many of my mom friends who have said, oh, efficiency goes out the window when you become a mom. And I'm like, challenge accepted. I'm going to be efficient. So even when I'm doing something, I'm like, ooh, what else do I need to do in here before I leave? So it's like we have a rule that's like the one-touch rule. So for organizing, if we pick up that bin, we need to put that bin where it needs to go. It can get moved later, but try to only touch one thing, like that one thing at one time. Because if you start just moving it, all of a sudden you've lost like 30 minutes of your time because you're focused on one thing. So I'm trying to practice basically my handbook. I try to practice in my own life.
Look, you have to.
Yeah.
I keep personal financials and QuickBooks for Charlotte.
Oh, absolutely. Yes.
Like, I'm like, I have, as a CPA, I have to.
You have to.
I have to know
Yes.
every element of what's going on in our house. We
Yes.
have budget talks every week.
Absolutely.
Like, we
Yeah.
sit down at the table, we go over money, we go over where it's going to go.
Absolutely.
Our
Yeah.
allocations. Kid number 2's coming. It's like, all right, we got to start budgeting for more
Cut
kid items.
everything out. No.
It's like, all right, we're done. No more
we're
spending.
eating out.
Yeah.
Yes. It's true, though. That's too good. But yeah, so those are the 3.
I love them.
Yeah.
So what is something you love about Baton Rouge?
Oh, I cannot say enough more about the community. Like, it is, because I started off with the families I nannied for and then just was able to move into other families, and those families talked highly about me, and then it just moved into this. It's really because of the people we work for, because they spread the word. And they're like, I couldn't live without them. They're like family. They did this space in my home, and it's still organized because we organize it efficiently. So it's really just this word of mouth and building that community. Now, if you do a bad job, sometimes that can hurt you, and you got to build yourself back up. But I mean, again, businesses always have their moments of learning, and you're like, oh, okay, next time we're going to do it this way. Next time we're going to be better. So but the community is still so strong, and they're like, I know you had that moment, but like, I'm still here for you. I'm here to support you, like whatever you need. And so it's nice. It's a good reassurance that there's still people that have your back, even in those hard moments.
Yeah.
So
They rally around
they will rally.
and support you no matter
yes.
what.
Yeah. Yeah. And I definitely feel it. So
Well, good.
yeah, it's great.
So for the final question, what
Yes.
can I do to help you?
Gosh, just keep doing what you're doing. Like, just keep promoting us.
I will.
Just the fact that you take time out of your day to talk to businesses to help them grow says a lot, because that's what this is great marketing for us, and it's great for other people to see our personalities just outside of, being in a closet or going to the grocery store. Like, I'm sure people see us in and out of Whole Foods all day long. That's one of our second homes. But it's nice that you're able to like give businesses this opportunity to talk about what we do. So
yeah, I mean,
I appreciate
there's
it.
way too many here to not.
Yeah. Oh, it's incredible. It really is incredible to see how many small businesses are thriving here in Baton Rouge.
Oh, it's phenomenal.
It's so exciting.
Yeah.
And I think that's what keeps us all going, because we see like it's working. Like some whatever we're doing is working.
Yeah.
So, and people are happy.
And
So-
look, you're like episode 184, 185.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And
It's
like we have had no repeats.
Right.
Like
yeah.
it's all new business
All new,
owners,
yeah.
all new endeavors across so many different fields.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
fantastic.
It is. And it's just going to keep going, because I think people are seeing the benefit,
Oh, yeah.
saying like, oh, I could do this on my own and it could really benefit people. And honestly, people are looking for convenience. So it's like, how can I make someone's life easier? Like, what can I offer them to take away that stress?
Yeah.
And so it's nice, especially like when I'm like listening to some of your podcasts, I'm like, oh, we could utilize them, because like we're always looking for third parties to partner with, because there's just some things that like we just don't do, or we're like, that getting on your roof sounds dangerous to put Christmas lights up. We're gonna ask a third party.
We're gonna pass.
Yeah, we're gonna pass.
We'll connect you with somebody who's
yes,
better.
yeah. Sometimes we put our life at risk. I'm like, let's not do that again. Yeah, our lives are important.
If I die, it's a lot of paperwork.
It's a lot of paperwork.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
so
think
much
people
to
are gonna
go through.
miss me.
Yeah, let's just not have the whole death come into play.
Right, exactly. So it's great though.
Well, thank
Yeah.
you, Bri, for coming on.
Oh my gosh, of course. Thank you. This has been so much fun.
I loved this.
Yeah, this was great.
So what is the procedure for people to get in touch with you?
So they can actually go to our website at simpleliving.us.
Okay.
And they can fill out a consult form there, or they can reach us at simpleliving.us through Instagram. We're always on our DMs.
Love it.
So, or they can call us, but our phone, I don't know by heart, sorry guys, but you can go to our website. We have
Got
like
it.
5 phone numbers, so forgive me.
Well, it's like concierge moving. I'm sure it's
Yeah.
different tiers.
Well, we all have different phone numbers, so yeah.
Well, we're gonna link
Yeah.
it all up in the show notes.
Absolutely.
And direct
Thank
everybody
you.
over there. So
Yeah.
we'll be all over your stories.
Love
soon.
it. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate it.
Well, thank you so much, Bri, for
Of
coming
course,
on.
thank you.
And thank you, everybody else, for listening or watching, whatever platform you consume the show on. I'm very appreciative of it. I know the guests are as well. If you need any of the services that Bri described, or maybe you've got an idea for a service that you want and don't know who offers it, reach out to them and maybe they'll figure out a way to make it work if insurance and the legal side approves of it all. But thank y'all so much, and thank you to the amazing partners in the community that bring you this show each and every week. We've got a little bit more about some of them right now. Thank you to our wonderful sponsor, Lake Men's Health Center with Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group. Guys, I know it's tough to get out and go to the doctor. I know it's challenging to find time in our busy days,
But I promise you, signing up to be a part of this group with Dr. Curtis Chastain and Dr. Tyler Boudreaux, you won't regret it for several reasons, but most of those being the fact of the time it saves, where you're able to get in on the same day, get that appointment done, and spend that time you need to talk with them about what your health goals and concerns are, as well as ensuring that the financial investments you have, you will be able to live out and see those come to fruition. So if you're an investing guy, you know all about and planning for the future and investing in the future. There's no other more important thing to invest in than your health. Make sure you go check them out, Our Lady of the Lake Physicians Group Men's Health Center, and tell them Patty G sent you. McLavy's Limited, a proud sponsor of the Patty G Show, has been serving the Baton Rouge area proudly for 40 plus years. Gentlemen and ladies, if you're shopping for your man, there is no other place in the Baton Rouge area to get your clothing, whether it's game day needs, everyday needs, business attire, formal attire, whatever you want. Go over there, see Frank and Ashley. It's a father-daughter duo. They do incredible things in their store. They will outfit you from as simply a shirt that you need for one evening or all the way to a full wardrobe overhaul. They're going to take care of you every step of the way, and be sure and let them know that Patty G Show sent you.
Welcome to the brand new Falaya mobile app. We took all the same tech that's helped hundreds of people sell their homes themselves and packed it into an easy-to-use app for your phone. When you download the Falaya mobile app on either the Apple or Android App Store, you'll immediately be able to see the power of this game-changing tool. From the seller's dashboard, you can navigate to all the information that you need. We intentionally separated everything into key groups, such as tasks to be completed, buyer leads for your listing, and contact information for everyone involved through closing. When you get an offer on your property, you can simply review and respond all within the app. No matter where you are in the world, you'll be able to monitor everything that's going on with your property from listed to sold. It's truly the power of Falaya in the palm of your hand. Download the app and see for yourself. Falaya, it's real estate reimagined.